So the Democrats took to the House floor to sit there and sing "We Shall Overcome" because Al Green got kicked out of the House floor when Trump was giving that god-awful, like, that was some, like, biblical, like, I felt like one of the Israelites, 40 days and 40 nights in the desert being led around by Moses. I was like, God, please make this end. Like, this speech was going on forever, dude. Anyways, the Democrats have decided to pretend they're Martin Luther King and the Freedom Riders by singing "We Shall Overcome" on the House floor. You can't make this kind of weakness up. You just can't.
Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House had come to order. The House had come to order. What's it?
I've heard enough. When you look weak in front of Mike Johnson, there's a problem. I don't know if you've seen, I don't know if you have eyes, but Mike Johnson looks like someone who crawled out of a locker. He looks like he was shoved in a locker in high school 30-something years ago, crawled out with a suit and a tie, and is now governing this country. That's what he looks like. And despite that clear and obvious fact, a bunch of grown-ass Democratic politicians take to the floor to sing "We Shall Overcome." What you need to do is overcome the stupidity that compelled all of you to sit there and just stay in that room after Al Green got kicked out. You should have made a choice, is what you should have done. Either we're going to stay and look like punks after he just kicked out one of our guys. We'll just sit there and stay and hold up our signs. He's lying. He's lying. You guys know he's lying. Could you at least laugh at Trump when he lies? You can't even do that. You're sitting there. He's lying. I can't believe he's lying. Do you guys see he's lying? Oh my God, dude. This is what you're dealing with. And then they take to the floor to sing like they're slaves. You're not a slave. You're a member of the House. Can you please act like it? You know, like the victim culture on the left. I hate to sound like Candace Owens, dude, but there really is a victim culture on the left, dude. There really is. And I don't mean it in the sense of talking about historical ills done to marginalized communities. What I mean is there's this culture of, like, loving to lose. You know what I mean? There's this romanticization of being on the bottom. Pause. There's a romanticization of being on the bottom that we're not talking about, okay? And I feel like it emanates from the fact that so many people in our party come from marginalized communities, and so many people in our party fight for marginalized communities, that we have this romanticization with being on the bottom, being stepped on, being oppressed. But the reality is we are very much heading for that, and fast, if the Democrats don't figure out something fast. Okay? This "We Shall Overcome" shit, no, thank you. I'm not interested in hearing this "We Shall Overcome" stuff. I don't want to hear it. This is coming from a black man. And I've seen many other black folk on social media saying, what the fuck is this? We don't want to see it. We don't want to hear it. Okay? You guys need to be sitting down in a dark room, plotting and scheming what the next step is, because this is pathetic. What happened on the night of that speech was pathetic. Either none of you show up at all, or you leave when Al Green gets kicked out. But for you to sit there in that room and stay and watch this happen is just the utmost amount of weakness. Why are you making Republicans look like something they're not? Without Trump, these people are pathetic dorks. The only people who talk as though maybe they can bring the fight, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Bernie Sanders. And it's really Jasmine Crockett really using the language that needs to be used. Instead, we get performative acts of struggle. The struggle. Nobody wants to see this stuff. It's a weakness of the highest degree. And I feel like I'm repeating myself all the time, but I'm going to keep saying it because it's true. There is a fascination and romanticization of being a loser amongst liberals. There's this kind of like, we're like enamored with being oppressed or enamored with being trampled down on. I'm sorry, but that time has passed. We need to start realizing and recognizing we are equal citizens under the law. And if Republicans want to take it there, we can take it there. I'm not about to sit here and sing like I'm some kind of civil rights movement historical figure. Salute to them. And I understand why they did what they did, but they did what they did so I could be where I am to move different. to engage in politics differently. They made sacrifices and did certain things so I could talk the way I talk now. What do I look like acting like I'm them when they paved the way for me to act how I'm supposed to be able to act in my home country? And Democrats sit there and do this singing. It's like, stop, dudes. Please stop. Whether it's leftists trying to find ways to sabotage our party in the wake of the election of a lifetime, where the dude who's running is basically hinting he's never leaving if he wins. Or it's like center-left Democrats, being too afraid to get up and walk out of a room. Or gathering on the floor and singing, "We shall overcome." How about you overcome Hakeem Jeffries first? How about you overcome the fact that you guys talk and act like hall monitor teachers' pets? Overcome that. Overcome that first. Instead of singing about overcoming Mike Johnson, pause. You guys need to start talking about overcoming the fact that you all are projecting weakness. The Democratic Party is projecting weakness. Nobody wants to see this crap. It's corny, it's lame, and it makes the Republicans look like something they don't deserve to look like. They look like warriors, they look like tough guys, when in reality, the majority of them are not tough. They're not about that life, frankly. And to see the Democrats sit there and act like that is a damned shame. This romanticization with being losers, this weird, like, this romance of like, oh, we're oppressed, we suffer all day, we're losers. Like, okay, I understand so many of us come from marginalized communities, but can we like fight as if we're about to lose our rights? Because we are. like we are. And it really goes to show how many like Democrats don't take this seriously. Whether it's voters who are like, we'll just win next election. Nigga, are you listening? The nigga didn't even endorse his VP to be the next president. When you don't even endorse your VP to be the next president, something's wrong. When you're calling yourself the king, when you're sitting there saying he who saves his nation breaks no law, there's not gonna be another election. And Trump was hinting at this even before this election took place. Even what he did in the lead up to January 6th should have told you. This dude has no intention of leaving office. None. He can't. Because if he does, whoever he leaves behind is not beating Kamala Harris. They're losing. And guess where Trump goes? Jail. The Democratic Party, from voters to politicians, need to stop pretending like there'll just be a next time. Ain't no next time. Stop. We shall overcome. What are you all, 70 years old? Seriously, grow up. Grow up. You're in 2025. Act like it. At least pretend like you live in the 21st century. Okay? All those folk locked arms and marched up and down the South and died so you could talk your shit. And instead, you want to be them. You ain't them. You are not them. Get that through your thick skull. Unreal. And it goes to show this party needs to be wiped clean. They say stuff like, oh, they need to let the young people in. They do need to let the young people in, but let's just talk about it. A lot of the young people are just as corny and weak and pathetic as these old people right now. Can we have that conversation? Can we have the conversation about the fact that left-wing commentators don't even curse? They don't even swear. They don't even talk the talk. You're dealing with racists, misogynists, ethno-nationalists, theocratic fascists, and you can't even say a curse word? These are people who pride themselves on being offensive, and you can't even meet them where they're at. This party doesn't just need an age cleansing. It needs a cultural cleanse. A party of strength that will not abandon the marginalized. Okay? But will in no way, shape, or form cower before those who seek to overcome our country with fascism and ethno-nationalism and theocratic fascism, theocracy, all that bullshit, okay? We need a party of strength. And right now, we don't have that. We have a party of weak people who aren't built for this moment. They're built for civility politics. That ended 10 years ago. The moment the fat ass came down that escalator in a Trump Tower, that was the end. That was just about it. The moment he came down, I'm gonna run. That was the end. That was it. And they still haven't gotten with the program. 10 years for you to realize the enemy's using ammunition on you instead of steel. The Republicans went from using swords to guns, and you're still sitting there. I don't really want to, I believe in, and I don't really want to be violent. I don't want to alienate. Really? Really? Okay. This is supposed to be considered admirable. This is supposed to be something the next generation looks toward and says, wow, what warriors, we shall overcome. Al Green need to take that stick and hit all of them upside the head with it. Real talk. Like, they all deserve to get their ass whooped publicly. Talking about some we shall overcome. Clearly not. Clearly you're not. You're very obviously not.